This is Rockslapping Champions. Player 1, playing Nova, we have Eaglecot. And player 2, playing Alarak, we have Private Meta. So let's have a look at the masteries over here. The game is being played on brutal difficulty from both players' standpoints. Nova's masteries, they seem reasonably okay. Only thing here is the primary ability versus the unit attack speed. I believe having a full allocation on the primary ability is a little bit better, especially if you're using Nova's assault mode. The shotgun can do a lot of damage, especially with the stance mastery, which increases the amount of damage that Nova deals when she switches to assault mode from stealth mode. Alarak has a roughly even split between Alarak attack damage and unit attack speed. Again, it really depends on what your build is. If you're going for a mech build, then the unit attack speed is better. If you're going for an Ascendant build or a spell casting build, then the Alarak attack damage. So I'm assuming that this is because Alarak does play maybe on different missions, like random missions, where you may want to have that kind of split. Generally speaking, I like to go for the Alarak attack damage instead. Empower Me versus the Death Fleet cooldown. My preference is for Empower Me. Empower Me is a really powerful ability, especially when used with the no cooldown Alarak technique. And we have 30 points into the Overcharge Mastery, and that is really good. Overcharge at that level deals a lot of damage, and you can actually use it to aggressively push. As you can see over here, Alarak is starting to clear his expansion with an Overcharge pylon, which is what you should be doing in the game. And Nova is just continuing to produce some stuff. So Nova is actually transitioning up really fast. So already a factory coming down. No expansion for Nova though, which is generally not a good idea. Nova should be building a command center besides besides these rocks over here, and then using a first set of Marines to clear the rocks while the command center is being built. But Nova seems to have opted for going for a factory build, and it's going for the Marine upgrades, but she doesn't have any Marines on the field yet. First attack wave starts to spawn right now and moves up towards us, and we have a bunch of Zealots. Zealots means that you're usually dealing with a slightly easier Protoss composition. So you're either dealing with Skydoss Carrier or a Gateway or Robo Colossus, and I think personally I find the Gateway compositions a little bit more annoying. There are a bunch of Marines and they get surrounded by the Zealots, but the defensive drone comes down, and I believe that should keep the Marines alive against these Zealots. As you can see, there is a lot of damage output from these Zealots. Like Nova is actually not kiting these Zealots, and it does stack up. They deal a lot of damage. But Alarak is making his way down now this round. It is very important to clear the enemy structures on this mission. It just makes the mission very easy when you want to start dealing with the final set of Void Thrashers. Some very nice kiting from Alarak over there. Took almost no damage there, just simply by using his Destruction Wave. He was able to just push the attack wave back, and he was able to kill it. But yeah, clearing these lanes is very useful when you're playing on this mission, because the enemy units will start building defensive structures along these edges over here. So when you clear these structures and you clear all the workers, they are not, they're not going to be rebuilt, obviously, because there's nothing there to rebuild them, and that makes the mission significantly easier in the later stages when you have to push towards Thrashers that will spawn in this spot. And this applies to all the other lanes as well. So whenever you're playing on this mission, try and play hyper aggressively at the start of the game to make sure that you clear this area. Nova has used her Marines. They've kind of healed up now, and she's used her Marines to start clearing these. But the Marines are actually parked over there, and they're clearing that last gas rock, which is building a command center now on site. But this command center has gone down at like the 6-minute, maybe 5-minute, 30-second mark. Defensive drone comes down here for Nova. Nova is still in stealth mode and not in assault mode. Assault mode Nova, if she switches over, she can blink forward and essentially one-shot that attack wave. But Nova is not switching modes over here. She's continuously staying in stealth mode, and she is trying to not snipe, but she's just auto-attacking the cannons over here. Alrak, on the other hand, is he's taken his expansion, and I believe he's reached optimal saturation over here. Hybrid attack wave comes in. Nova gets completely surrounded by these zealots, but one destruction wave from Alrak, and it pushes the zealots back. I think one more destruction wave, and Alrak will clear whatever's left of these zealots. But there is a hybrid, and there's a probe, I believe, that got away over there. And you can see here, this is exactly what I was talking about. This probe is just going to go, and it's going to put down pylons and cannons. And in the case of Zerg and Terran, it'll put down other stack defenses and bunkers and stuff. You can see this probe over here doing the same thing. Next attack wave spawns up over here, and Nova drops another defensive drone down. 2 defensive drones is not really better than 1 when you only have 1 unit over there, but more power to Nova. Command center is built, and Nova is just chilling and not. These guys are just like parked over there. Okay, there we go. And now the worker is being made, and he's moved that. Okay, there we go. I was just gonna say, I was like, he saw the command center, but he hasn't moved his workers back. But he's done that right now. Let's have a look at the production. Production is okay, and let's have a look at the units out. So we only have 4 Marines out for Nova. Nova has not actually produced anything. Alrak has 2 supplicants. I'm not sure where they are. Okay, there they are. They're on the way now. Alrak is continuing to work away on this. He has to take out this Nexus, because if this Nexus does not go down, it's going to keep producing workers, and these workers will start rebuilding everything that has been destroyed. So he has to take those there to take out the probes that will be coming out from that Nexus. Nova has rallied her Marines over and is starting to work on this Void Thrasher. Void Thrasher will go down relatively quickly. Alrak, look at how this probe is over here. This is something else you also note. There's 2 attack waves over here. I'm just going to quickly switch over. But make sure that when you want to do the all clear, make sure that you check the corners, because the probes will hide in little nooks and crannies. So make sure that you actually check and you know that you fully cleared the area. This attack wave has come up over here now, and it's just going to start wailing away on Nova's base. I'm just going to switch over here, and I'm going to re-enable the mini-map. And we have a few zealots that have survived over there, but there is another attack wave over here, and the Marines have... how many Marines? I think 3 Marines have gone down already? Yep, 3 Marines have gone down, and I don't know if this guy is going to actually survive. Nova is still in snipe mode over here, by the way. If Nova was in assault mode, yep, down goes a Marine. If Nova was in assault mode, she would have been able to take out that attack wave very, very quickly. But no attack wave for Nova, no assault mode for Nova, and that makes it very, very difficult to clear. So 4 Marines have gone down, and Nova has actually 1 Goliath now, because I believe the other Goliath was lost, and Nova goes down. There are a bunch of Immortals over there, and they are starting to deal a lot of damage towards the... Nova gets respawned, gets stormed, and focus fired down, and just goes down again. Structure overcharge comes down from Alrak, but that is too late, and Nova drops 2 Hellbats to try and deal with these Immortals over here. These things are going to survive until the defensive drone runs out of energy, by the way, and then these things are just going to get completely wasted by the Immortals. The Immortals deal a lot of damage. Is Nova actually going to save us? There is another attack wave over here, but the Death Fleet comes down here. There is another attack wave coming up to Nova's main now, and the Storm goes down and just completely wrecks Nova's mineral line. Good news is Nova has cleared that side, but there is another Storm that has come down, and down goes 1 Hellbat, and Alrak comes in to help Nova now. Warp Prism very, very low on HP, but manages to survive. And we have a few Ascendants. These Ascendants are going to be so powerful. Alrak with the Empower Me as well is really, really powerful. This base is on fire, and Nova does not seem to be interested in trying to repair this base. As you can see over here, 1 destruction wave just instantly clears most of the attack wave. Another destruction wave, and that is the attack wave done. This building is on fire. It is already at 500 HP. And now there is another attack wave on the way. Nova so far has lost 2 Goliaths, 4 Marines, 2 Hellions, and 2 Novas. So we'll see what else happens there. Another Storm goes down these Ascendants. These Ascendants now are starting to grow, so they don't really care about the damage. But now there's a repair now on this command center, so he's able to pull it just in time. Nova is still in snipe mode though, which is very very odd. Nova can deal a lot of damage against the lighter units, the Zealots and the High Templars. So Nova should be switching these modes very very frequently. She seems a little bit lethargic though and doesn't really want to switch these modes. Alrak decides to stay over here to deal with this attack wave because I'm pretty sure he knows that Nova is going to probably get wrecked because there's only a solo Nova over here. Nova has no reduction right now in terms of cooldowns, I believe. Actually, Nova has no resources, that's why she has no army units. It's flowing at 150 minerals, and Nova's units are very, very expensive. You don't want to be throwing them around like that, especially not into like meat grinders like the attack waves are there. Alrak dodges the attack wave, and now you can start seeing the damage the Ascendants are starting to dish out with the Mind Blasts. They start to ramp up very, very quickly. We have another warp in the 4 Ascendants, and maybe 10 Supplicants. This is all very, very good now. The Ascendants will start to work away on this Void Thrasher over here. Void Thrasher will go down, and now we have the start of the airdrops. Yeah, Nova has absolutely no army. This is just a solo Nova that is trying to get their economy back into gear. Stack wave comes up right now. Structure overcharge comes down. Starts to defend Nova's refinery, but there is an attack wave over here as well. That's still going to start attacking this temple. Hybrid Nemesis over here. It'll go down. Alarak's structure overcharge at 30 mastery points is absolutely insane, and you can see how much damage these Ascendants are doing with their psionic orbs. Just instantly wipes out a large chunk of the attack wave. And you can see over here it's just done. Now there's just a hybrid left over. Mind Blast just cleans that hybrid up really, really quickly. A small Warpen, Harass Warpen from Alarak, from our Amon, and there will be another Warpen as well that will be coming up over here if I have not missed it. There should be 2 Warpens before the next phase of the mission. So Alarak has decided to put down a bunch of pylons on this side. This is a really good idea. There we go. There's a Warpen. Single Nova. Blocks the probe. Probe's passing out. And now the probe is mad, so it decides to go back to the Nexus. But yes, the build orders were cancelled on that side. Nova was able to clear that with her snipes, but again, no assault mode. One assault mode switch would have instantly one-shot that Warpen over there. And that is why Nova's stance is very, very important. Constantly switching the modes gives you invulnerability and it gives you attack damage increase. And you should always be doing that when you're playing Nova. We have Alarak's army now starting to move forward. The Ascendants are a little bit tagging behind on the back. These Supplicants are not really there to do damage. You can see over here that Amon has started to build his cannons, and Nova drops a nuke on there. I'm not really sure why Nova dropped a nuke there. It's just one target, and the Ascendants deal so much damage. Alarak, empower me now on Alarak, and he's just going to instantly wipe a lot of this stuff with just one destruction wave. Death Fleet also comes down, gives Alarak the bonus as well on empower me, and it gives double bonus because these are considered mech units instead of bio units. And you can see Alarak has cleared this entire side now completely. I believe Alarak now wants to try and deal a little bit of damage to these Zenith Stones over here. I think he wants to try and clear that out. Unfortunately, the Ascendants, like Alarak's army is not very, very good against structures because Ascendants don't have the good single target DPS. They don't have good auto attack DPS, and they're really good against units rather than structures. We have 2 siege tanks over here, and the siege tanks. Are the siege tanks gonna go down? Yeah, the siege tanks are totally gonna go down. There are a ton of hybrids over there. 2 structure overcharges are down for Alarak. And Noah misses the airstrike there. That would have cleared out a lot of these zealots, which are soaking up the damage from the hybrids. But these 2 structure overcharges will clean up that hybrid relatively quickly. Snipe goes down, takes out that hybrid, and Alarak is back here to defend this side. There is now another drop attack over here, and Alarak is starting to put down these cannons, but these cannons are not enough, and they're a little bit too late. There are a lot of enemy units that are coming up with immortals and stuff. 2 cannons already go down, and Amon is actually ignoring these cannons. But there is an airstrike here, and this airstrike is a little bit better, but I think all the units were dead before the airstrike actually hit. So Alarak has lost 2 cannons so far. And there is a storm here on Alarak's Supplicants, which is okay. The Ascendants also are at a point now where they don't really care about what is going on with the with the enemy units. They have so much shield and they're so strong. 2 Banshees come down over here again, and these Banshees, I don't know if this Banshee is gonna survive. It might survive if Alarak comes in to try and save it, but there is another Warpin over here as well, which the Immortals do a lot of damage, by the way, to the temple. So very important to make sure that you clear them out, otherwise you will lose the game before you even know what's happening. Duel, Nova has lost 19 SCVs, 2 Goliaths, 4 Marines, 1 Banshee, 2 Hellions, and 2 Siege Tanks, and 2 Novas so far. So Nova's not having a very good day. There's another Warpin over here, but Alarak is in position, uses Destruction Wave to push everything back. Personally for me, I tend to get some more Ascendants over here. Having more Ascendants into the mix allows you to spam your Psionic Orbs, and it makes the mission a little bit easier because you don't have to play hyper efficiently when it comes to your Ascendant energy. This is just a matter of personal preference, especially here you can see Alarak is flowing a lot of gas. I would have dropped in maybe like 10 more Ascendants. It just makes the mission infinitely easier because you don't actually need a lot of Supplicants in your army. Your Supplicants are there to keep Alarak alive so he doesn't eat the Ascendants, but most importantly your Supplicants are there to feed to the Ascendants when they need the energy refreshes. So it's no real big deal. So I would have gotten more Ascendants instead of the Supplicants. 2 Void Thrashers are over here, and now there are a bunch of Siege Tanks. Nova has done a very smart thing, and she has put down a bunch of Spire Mines, but Nova goes down anyway because Amon OP. But yeah, she's put down a bunch of Spire Mines, and these Spire Mines have dealt a lot of damage to the attack wave, so it has weakened the attack wave significantly. Alarak has cleaned up this Void Thrasher over here. There's still some enemy structures, but this is nearly the end of the mission, so it doesn't matter too much. An airstrike goes down and misses almost everything, I think, over there. Armory is on fire, and Nova has... She has a few units over here, but that's not nearly enough to deal with the this Void Thrasher, especially because there will be more attack waves that'll be coming up here. Speaking of attack waves, there you go. There's the attack wave. There's 1 Banshee and 1 Nova against this entire attack wave, and that is not enough. That Banshee goes down, Nova goes down again. Nice airstrike though, that clears up a large chunk of the army, but 1 Goliath goes down, 2nd Goliath goes down. So Nova has basically fed her entire army into a complete Meatgrinder there. And now there is another attack wave over here, and Alarak is not in position. Alarak is dealing with this Void Thrasher, and there are hybrids and zealots and stalkers and all sorts of nasty stuff there just working its way. Nova decides to teleport in here saying, no, don't worry, I got this. And Nova don't got this. She got a lot of bullets in her. The defensive drone comes down here because, oh, you know what Nova did? She used her tactical airlift to move Alarak's army into here, but that's a very bad idea because Alarak is still left behind over here with most of his army, so his Ascendants kind of got caught in the crossfire over there. That is actually kind of bad for Alarak. There are 2 attack waves over here now, and there's another one over here. So Alarak is on this side, so he's gonna have no problem deleting this thing. But Nova's last Siege Tank goes down over here, and Nova goes down one more time. And there is an attack wave over here. This command center is not going to survive, and there is a ton of junk on this side as well. Takes out Nova's factory, and Alarak is in here to try and save Nova. As you can see over here, Alarak is using a lot of his Supplicants, but his Ascendants are fine. They are not having any problems dealing with this. Command center is down over here, and there are a bunch of Immortals over here, but Alarak's army is getting thinned out very quickly, and he's losing a lot of Supplicants, and this is why I said it's very important to have a lot of Ascendants in the into the mix, because Alarak would have had no problem dealing with all 3 lanes with just the Ascendants. But there we go. Nova in total has lost a lot of stuff. She has lost 4 Goliaths. Like, there's not enough even space in the thing to show how many things she's lost there. Lost 4 Goliaths, 4 Marines, 2 Banshees. I believe she's lost something like 2 Siege Tanks and maybe 4 Hellbats as well, and a ton of her structures. Alarak has lost a total of 126 Ascendants, but as most 126 Supplicants, mostly due to Alarak tanking the damage, so that is okay. 6 Ascendants have gone down, which is not very ideal, but I believe those Ascendants went down when Nova used the tactical airlift to try and save Alarak's base, but ended up getting some of his Ascendants killed. But that is the end of the game. They managed to claim victory over Amon, but they had to struggle through it, and that is GG.